Good afternoon. It's time for yet another NFL Bucky's Mill Day. It's Monday. That means it's mock draft time. Bucky, say hi, Bucky. Bucky says hi. Before we start with our mock draft, we're going to do a Lions mock draft. We have 4 different scenarios. So I try to pick different players. I want to pick the same ones over and over. That's boring. This is what I do because I'm the only one that's doing it. So who else are going to make the picks, right? So it's not who I think they'll pick or what will happen, it's just who I would pick. Keep it simple. But before we start, I want to say congratulations and best of luck to Patrick Kane, who was traded last week from the Blackhawks to the New York Rangers. He's from that area. He's from New York, Buffalo area, close enough. And didn't get a ton of compensation. A second round pick, a third or fourth, I believe, next year, and some of the salary, of Kane's big contract will be taken care of. There might be another prospect out there. It has potentially to be a first round pick, I believe, if the Rangers make the semifinals. It was the Eastern Conference Finals, something like that. So we're going to rooting for the Rangers because the Blackhawks ain't going anywhere, that's for sure. So they lost a star player, a cornerstone of their 3 Stanley Cups. My current favorite, well, I guess not anymore, but former current player of the Blackhawks, and I said we wish him well, nothing but the best. Hope he can win another Stanley Cup. And Bruins are going to be tough to beat, to be honest with you. Other than that, still spring training for the Reds. Haven't really watched them that much or seen them at all, to be honest with you. And they blew a big lead a couple days ago. They won one game. I don't expect anything from this team except failure. Why they kept their manager, I have no idea. But it's going to be a long season because they're going to fire him eventually. And I don't see anything positive. But I may be wrong. The women's hockey team, I believe, is in the tournament. I don't think the men's are. The men's basketball team beat Minnesota the other night, which is good. They should make the tournament, but they're not going anywhere. They'll probably be the lowest seed in the division, so I really don't expect them to do much. And I still think the head coach should be canned, but that's my opinion. But anyway, enough of that, Bucky. Not much of a prop today, but we have a homemade sign. It's got Lions mock draft 23. It's not the number of mock drafts, it's the year. Now, technically, this is our second one, but it's the first post-combine. So we're going to start all over. I watched a lot of combine. Very entertaining. It gets boring after a while, to be honest with you. Why they show offensive and defensive linemen right in the 40s, I don't know. But there's always excitement. There's always players that totally ball out. Anthony Richardson did that. A couple other players really had great combines. Christian Gonzalez, I thought, had a very, very good combine. And we'll get to him later on in one of our mocks, maybe 2. But the big news was Jalen Carter, who turned himself in after a warrant for his arrest was issued. Allegedly, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to get in trouble. But he came back to the combine, which I thought was a great effort on his part. And hopefully it'll be cleared up, and his status won't change that much. The Lions generally don't draft troubled players, but he might be an exception. And if he gets it all cleared up, I wouldn't worry about that too much. So we did 4 drafts. He wasn't available in any of the drafts. I could not manipulate the draft in my favor. Is whatever happened. All I could do is, pick the best and or different players. And I think pretty good job of that. So, I'm not going to spend a ton of time because there's quite a few picks on board. But we had 17 watches last week, Bucky. And Bucky's tape fell off here. Bucky, we're falling apart, Bucky. We got this fan going on. I think that interfered with us. There we go. Okay, start out. The first one. Will Anderson fell, which would be a great opportunity for the Lions. Edge from Bama at number 6. At number 18, I got Joey Porter. Long arms and a very good combine also. Cornerback from Penn State. Ran a 4.4 or something. I don't have all the stats because I want to bore people with that. But he'd be he's my number 2. I'm not a big Witherspoon fan. He didn't run at all at the combine. So I have no stats on him. I'm just going to leave that there, Bucky. I'm just not that high on him. He's too short. Doesn't weigh. He's not that large, so I'm not going to worry about that. At 48, I've got Trenton Simpson, a linebacker from Clemson. Somebody I've seen a lot of mocks pick him for the Lions. At 59, I've got Jack Campbell, linebacker from Iowa. Doubled up on linebackers. The Lions need help on that area. Cedric Tillman, a wide receiver from Tennessee. Know nothing about him. He's from Tennessee. He's probably fast. You can assume that. Luke Shoemaker, a tight end from Michigan. I've seen him drafted for the Lions before. He's from Michigan. Can't go wrong there. He's a Michigan man, Bucky. 183, I've got Jake Moody, a kicker. Yes, a kicker, Bucky. From Michigan also. I drafted a kicker last time, but this time I got the Michigan guy. It's possible. I'm not overly thrilled about that. And then I got Rashad. Can you read my writing, Bucky? It's like Tommy something. Let me see. Tomerick, safety from Florida. Again, from Florida, he's got to be fast. He's a safety, but okay, I'm not going to claim I know a lot of these players. The first couple rounds, I know a good chunk of them. I'll know more later on, obviously. But moving on, I think that's a very good overall draft. Trying to draft defense. I've seen some drafts, Bucky, where the first 2 picks have been offensive players. Not crazy about that. Split's fine, but both offense, that's changing the course of the entire team. Next draft, I got Christian Gonzalez, aforementioned, 4.38, cornerback from Oregon, long arms, great speed, just smooth, fluid in his back pedals. I'm really high on him. So he's my number 1 cornerback. Then I got Nolan Smith, edge from Georgia. Another great combine, ran very fast, raises draft stock a lot, Bucky. Then I got Darnell Washington, tight end from Georgia, a huge, I think he's 6'8", something like that, if I remember right, tight end. So I'm excited about that. Jamar Gibbs, running back from Alabama, I'm sorry. Very fast. I don't know how large he is, but he's probably good size. I've seen his name quite often. Jack Campbell, linebacker from Iowa. I've seen him a lot projected to the Lions. Not speed, but he's exactly the kind of linebacker / player that Dan Campbell would love. And it's like an obvious fit. Then I've got Jair Brown, a safety from Penn State. So Joey Porter's running mate there in Happy Valley. Ronnie Bell, wide receiver from Michigan, ran a very, very good running wide receiver time. And Alex Forsyth, interior offensive lineman from Oregon. Know nothing about him, but there's your switch to guard. So that's pretty good. my opinion, pretty good overall draft. The next one, I've got Miles Murphy this time, Bucky. Edge from Clemson. He's kind of fluctuated back and forth. Like I mentioned, the last couple drafts, players tend to fluctuate a lot this time of year. I got free agency coming on. Derek Carr just signed a huge contract, $100 million guarantee, 150 overall million with the Saints. Franchise tags are coming out, I think, in a couple days. I said, free agencies, it's just a massive time. A lot of information, a lot of smoke. So we kind of got to filter through all that, Bucky. This heater is affecting my voice. The second pick of the first round, I got Bijan Robinson, a running back from Texas. The more I think about that, the more excited I am. If they take a corner, I would not mind the running back. If they take an edge, also would not mind it. He's the best running back. I'm very impressed by him. Good size, good speed, just a great overall player. And I would not be upset with the Lions drafting him. I got Trenton Simpson, linebacker from Clemson, another name that's popular. Noah Sewell, linebacker from Oregon. He wants to play for the Lions with his brother, of course, Penny. So that's a big possibility. I got Jack Bigsby, a running back from Auburn. If I remember right, good speed. I'm not sure the size, but I'm not going to bore people with all those numbers. I got Braden Daniels, interior offensive line from Utah, enough said. And then Kentrell Clark, cornerback from Louisville. Lions would not be a bad idea for the Lions to draft a second cornerback just to compete. I want to give a shout out to NFL Mock Draft Database. All these mock drafts I've done on their site. Very simple. Some versions they offer trades, some don't. I rejected all the trades just because I don't want to, be at 20 minutes per mock draft. The last mock I have, I did not get Jalen Carter. I got Christian Gonzalez again. Then I got Brian Brazee, defensive lineman at Clemson, a very good combine. Not a Blazer, obviously, but they need interior help on the defense. And would not be upset with that pick at all. Then I've got Drew Sanders, different linebacker from Clemson. Another linebacker I've seen mocked to the Lions. Then I've got Keanu Benton, a defensive lineman from Wisconsin. Got to draft a Wisconsin guy, Bucky. Lions like to draft defensive linemen. So that was pretty obvious. And then Jack Campbell, again, linebacker from Iowa. So some very good picks. If Carter fell to the Lions at 6, would I take him? I would take him personally if he cleared everything. Lions tend not to do that. They might make an exception in this case, but we'll see. So hopefully he'll get everything cleared out. He has some issues, but if the Lions have great coaches in place, they can work with him and clean up his act a little bit. And I think any team will have to do that, to be honest with you. So that's my 4 mock drafts this week. Next week we'll do an entire first round. And can't spend a lot of time because the draft kind of drags on. We don't want to, take that much time. But that's it for this week, Bucky. And stay safe. Say bye, Bucky. Bucky says bye. And stay safe and be kind and enjoy life. All right, bye.